and we'll sit and talk about shit, everyday bullshit.
I'm Joe Parsons reporting for Pro Cannabis Media's We Talk News. As all of our Pro Cannabis Media followers already know, we've been closely following the latest news on the potential move from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. And we are in that 60-day public comment period. So not only does your voice count, but the industry leaders who have shaped what the modern cannabis industry is today also need to be heard. Today, I'm honored to have one of those leaders with me. Trent Woloveck is the Chief Strategy Director for Jushi Holdings. Jushi has become one of the largest cannabis MSOs in the nation, with markets from coast to coast, and they are an industry leader, especially when it comes to innovative brands and safe products, especially in the Commonwealth. Good morning, Trent. Thanks for being with us today.
Morning, Joe. Appreciate you having me.
Excellent. So 30 days ago, 10 days after 420, the DEA made the historic announcement of a possible move of cannabis to Schedule 3. Less than a week later, President Biden made the official announcement with a promise to ultimately move cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. Were you surprised by this news, especially of how quickly the process is moving forward?
Yeah, I think, look, it was a historic month of April with a lot of work that had led up to it. And it's something that I feel like it's been, quite frankly, a long time coming. As somebody that's been in the regulated cannabis industry since 2009. So it's been a really exciting process so far. It's kind of crossing the T's and dotting the I's now, but looking forward to getting that finalized here in the coming months and have cannabis officially off a Schedule 1 narcotic and flipped over to a Schedule 3.
Sounds fantastic to me. Now, a lot of people are concerned that this move could possibly uproot recreational adult use. With a lot of Jushi's markets supporting adult use, are there any concerns that this could possibly change your business model permanently?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of misnomers and a lot of misstatements out there around what Schedule 3 does or doesn't do. We feel very confident that, unfortunately, cannabis will still be an illicit narcotic across the United States. That's not going to change. And so I think you'll see the state programs kind of continue to progress as they wish. You're going to see other markets come towards adult use. Pennsylvania is coming. Hopefully, the Commonwealth, if we can get through the governor's office,
One day.
and then you'll see that momentum continue to build. I don't think there's any appetite from a DEA level or a U.S. Attorney General level to take off what other states have done and are going to continue to do.
That is fantastic news. Now, one of the clear benefits of this move, especially for established companies, is the reversal of the 280E tax penalties. Do you feel that this change will allow for more companies to grow, especially Jushi?
Yeah, look, I think it's beneficial for everybody in the industry, quite frankly, but I think it's more beneficial to the small business owners that want to continue to progress and grow the industry with the opportunity to stand up a retail business. That's really what 280 has been affecting is free cash flow for businesses to be able to survive with an effective tax rate of 70-80+%, not only at the federal level but at state level as well. And so I think it becomes very viable for a business to continue to grow with a retail only strategy, whether that's 1 store, 2 stores, or 35 stores like we have.
Awesome. So now, have there been any concerns over the future of this possible historic event if, in fact, President Biden doesn't win re-election in November?
I think they have
That's a tough
President
one.
Biden and his administration kind of kicked off this process in October of 2022 when he requested the review of where cannabis was scheduled. That's not a process that you can just like overturn at a snap of a finger. I also think come July when they start the debates, um, obviously President Biden's gonna, you know, I think mention this in his debates. I mean, he mentioned it at the State of the Union. He's done plenty of other public facing statements, and so I think Trump's a fast follower. So I think you're going to hear him say something very similar to what he said on a woman's right to choose around abortion, which was it's a state level thing, and so I think you're going to kind of hear that message from Trump. So either way, the election falls in November. I think you're going to see cannabis reform continue to progress forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much. But according to the Virginia chapter of Normal, probably won't. So it's going to probably be around 2027 before we actually get an active rec use market here.
Well, just really quick on that point. There are a lot of Republicans that sit both in the House and in the Senate that will have conversations with us about what an adult use regulated cannabis marketplace should look like. They were in an election year last November, and so this summer I think we'll be able to have really good conversations with them to educate them. A lot of them are well aware of the industry that already exists in the Commonwealth, and so regulating it, taxing it, creating jobs, creating economic opportunities for folks is something that should be taken very seriously. And so I think you'll see the industry work towards getting 17 Republicans to come on side in the House and 6 Republicans in the Senate to come on side to a bill next year through the legislator that would theoretically, not theoretically, would be veto proof getting to the governor's desk, so he can't do the same thing he did this year. So something we're working on. So don't give up hope quite yet and throw in the towel. But yeah, we're going to continue to push because we all know we're going to be on the right side of history, and you're always going to have to fight through a few final folks that don't want to understand what it is this plant can do or what this industry is. So don't throw in the towel quite yet.
Fantastic. Now, if by some chance the Commonwealth ever does get an adult use framework established, do you think Beyond Hello will form adult use cannabis shops here in the Commonwealth?
Yeah, I think we'll be both an adult use and a medical
Fantastic.
operation. We'll never get away from servicing the patients of the Commonwealth. That's what we promised to do from the beginning. And so we've made business investments in the Commonwealth well north of $100 million. And so we're going to continue to service patients. And then if we get the opportunity to participate in the adult use marketplace, we'll be ready to go for that as well.
Fantastic. The final question for Virginia. Has there been any concerns over the declining hemp market and could this possibly affect operations for Jushi in the Commonwealth?
As somebody that comes from regulated cannabis, I'm a firm believer in product standardization, third-party testing and validation of what's in a product, whether that's flower, gummies, vapes, you name it. And so I think the continued enforcement and regulation around regulating cannabis-derived products is something that's quite frankly necessary. And so I think we are going to continue to see that, because you don't want to see, anybody taking something that's detrimental to their health, and or having somebody get in to product that they shouldn't be getting into. And so I think all of those things kind of relate back to ensuring that we continue to be, good stewards of the industry, as we've been told for whatever the last 50, 70 years, that cannabis is bad and cannabis is the devil's lettuce and yada yada
Yes.
yada. And so the more regulations, the more standardized product, the more independent testing and validation of products, from my standpoint, the better, so we can continue to educate folks around what cannabis can be and will be. So that's kind of where and how we think about regulating hemp and or cannabis derived hemp
I
products.
think that this could possibly cripple the entire CBD industry on a national level.
Yeah, look, I think they passed the Farm Bill in 2018, not really understanding what all could be derived from hemp. And so anything that's synthetically derived, from a cannabinoid perspective, whether that's Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, Delta X, Delta 0, THCA flower, all of those things, I think, as people started to understand, from a regulator perspective and from a legislative perspective, what the market was actually doing. It was never their intent to create a THC market through hemp. And so I think they're just going back and, quite frankly, cleaning up a mistake that they made. I mean, everybody calls it a loophole for a reason. Like, it's a loophole. And so you get a couple lawyers making a statement, and a couple people that do something, and there's a lot of followers thereafter. And so, excuse me, I think, going back and cleaning that up, because the Farm Bill was meant for industrial hemp, whether that's hempcrete or rope or material or fuel, or I mean, I can keep going down the line, because industrial hemp's a $7 trillion disruptor in my mind, and it was never supposed to be cannabinoid focused, or more frankly THC focused. That's a state regulated program. That's a state regulated thing that needs to be and will continue to be regulated. So I just think they're closing quite frankly a mistake that they made 6 years ago now. So yeah, I'm a huge supporter of the amendments that were proposed around the Farm Bill.
While it might not be where we want to end up, it is definitely a step in the right direction. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you don't go from 0 to 100 here in the United States
Right.
from a reform perspective. And so, there are baby steps. Yeah, I like to say crawl, walk, run. And that's, the process that we're going through right now. And so it's really exciting to continue to see reform and progress, both in the Commonwealth, but also at the federal level around cannabis, because it's been a long time coming, and a lot of work by a lot of people, whether your legacy market and or through the regulated market. We've all worked to continue to share and progress. No longer it being a Schedule I narcotic where there's no medical benefit and it's highly addictive. I think anybody that's been in cannabis knows that that's just categorically false. And so, looking forward to continuing to, carry the torch forward, and appreciate all the support and, efforts by folks like yourself that continue to share the story.